Alright guys, Mark here, just to remind you before today's episode that we are on Patreon. For as little as just £3 a month, you can sign up and get access to an extra episode every 2 weeks, plus bonus content from all our previous live shows, including behind the scenes footage and even a behind the scenes documentary from the Edinburgh Festival as well. Myself and Stuart both have stand-up shows on sale at the moment. We're both doing tours. Stuart's is in March, mine's is primarily in May and June, although I've got a couple of dates at the Glasgow Comedy Festival as well. St Luke's on the 24th is sold out, as has the early show at Blackfriars on the 15th of March. But the late show on Saturday the 15th of March, still tickets available for that. Still tickets available for the 30th of March as well. Stuart has just dropped his new stand-up special, Love That For Me, on the Some Laugh YouTube channel as well. So please check that out if you haven't done so already. It's an absolutely brilliant show. And as I say, hopefully see you over on the Patreon. It keeps us going, it keeps us growing, keeps the pod rolling along and giving you more of the episodes that you hopefully do love. So hopefully see you in the Patreon, see you on tour, and aside from all that, guys, enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh. You got proposed to on 27th of May?
No, but when you said that, I thought, how did you know that? And also not true.
Right.
It was like October, I think.
Right.
Do you know what's funny? You order a fancy pen when you're getting married, direct with like, you can if you want, to sign your life away, basically.
A Parker pen? Like
a back in the day, you'd buy your dad one for Christmas, a proper Parker pen.
Remember the Michael Parkinson done those
just for inquiring.
And we got it engraved with the date of our wedding, because it's like what we would use to sign our wedding certificate or whatever. Right. So we got it engraved with the date of
Is this a proper tradition? Because this is the first of me hearing about it.
Well, I don't think so. I think we might have started it and ended it because we didn't do it very well. My husband was the one that was in charge of ordering it, and when it came in, it had like 27th or 28th on it. I still can't remember. And I was on to him, oh, you've got the date wrong of our wedding. You've got the wrong date engraved in that pen. You're so simple. And then he's like, oh, I'm such an idiot. And then I sent a photograph of it in my friend's WhatsApp group, being all, look at this asshole I'm marrying, wrong date. And all my friends were like, that is the date you're getting married. And I was all, oh shit, that's what it is. So like, am I the asshole? Both of us were like, we're both assholes. Neither of us can remember when we're getting married.
Yeah. If he's not got the confidence to go, no, that is the date.
Yeah.
Save the date. We don't know what date, but save it.
Yeah. It's one of those.
How did you get proposed to?
In Edinburgh.
Did you?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
I met my husband at the Fringe.
Right.
Up Arthur's Seat. No, I didn't meet him up there. That'd be so creepy if I was up there and he was like in the bushes.
It's a weird suggestion for a Tinder date, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll get you at the top.
Yeah, I'll get to the top of this mountain.
Yeah, but that was like our second or third date. We went up there.
Really?
And at this stage, I don't think I was aware that like someday I'd marry him, and so statistically, he's most likely to be the person who will kill me. So back then, I was like unaware of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have ended up a mountain with this guy. But we
Although
met.
if he killed you, then he wouldn't have married you. So actually, statistically, it would have cancelled itself out.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah. He actually would have been working against the green there. But I killed her before we got married. We met in the Edinburgh Fringe. There was like a night. I was over doing a sketch group like 12 or 13 years ago.
Classic. What was the sketch group called?
Don't even, right?
Was that what they were called? Or was that You'd believe that, wouldn't you?
Don't even, and a lot of the audience did not.
Forget yes and. Don't even.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, they didn't even. Nobody came.
Is that right?
We were called FNT. Friday Night Therapy, sort of a cop of like SNL.
Right.
You know,
Friday night therapy.
Yeah.
And
by the way, not all our shows were on a Friday night.
Yeah.
But our first one was, and they were like, we'll call ourselves Friday Night Therapy. But we were stupidly went to the Fringe thinking anybody would come see this wee Northern Irish comedy group that no one had ever heard of. Our sketches weren't even that good. There were so many of us. There was like 12 of us. We were losing money by the day, like thousands by the day.
Yeah.
And we did a paid show. It was like £15 a ticket. See venues, top of the Royal Mile. What were we thinking? And our show was called the Jingling Lane Family Singers, which already is like who's going to find that? Who'll remember that?
There's so much going on here as well with the title of the sketch group and then the title of the show.
And also you have to pay to see us over all of the class free shows that are on. And also walk to the very top of the Royal Mile to find us. Bad idea. But I did find my husband.
Well, there you go.
It was the first night. There was like a little soiree of Northern Irish comedians and comedy acts, and we all got together and had a few drinks. And I met him in Pleasance Courtyard, and it was genuinely love at first sight, which is so gay.
Really?
Oh.
So that was for you?
Yeah, it took him a while to grow on me.
No, because I always think that's an interesting one. Because I do sometimes wonder whether, like, that's more of a guy thing, because some women are like good at like being able to go, well, at first I didn't really think that I liked him, but then I realised 3 months later that I do.
You think guys
That's just
are
what
more
they're saying to you,
likely?
because you need to wear them down over the course of 3
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
or something.
No, it's necessarily applying to me. I mean, it has applied to me in the past, but I wonder whether, because I just feel like guys are a bit more biologically superficial, but maybe that's wrong. I don't know.
So you're saying that when a guy walks into a room, he'll fall in love with the girl straight away because of her big baps? They'll be like, I can see.
Yeah, or whatever he's into.
Maybe the big arses. Or both, if he's lucky.
Yeah.
But and I think both of us pretty much, like that night he said to me, we'll get married.
Wow.
Right.
But he needed to get divorced first because he was married before. So.
Well, if you have that pattern when you just meet someone you're going to have a couple
Yeah.
of weddings with.
I know. I was like, how many people have you said this to? I'm going to marry you.
Just only one of the girls.
Yeah.
to be honest.
Or
Let me
you
get
today.
this divorce pen out.
With the correct date in it.
How do you feel when? Well, I guess obviously it worked, but how do you feel when you've met them? And I guess the thing though, where you do get carried away, and you like someone, you go, oh, you can
Yeah.
jokingly go, let's get married, and that's it.
But, well, I suppose it was strange for us because when I met my husband, he was separated but not divorced yet and had 3 children.
Yeah.
So
It would be weird if he wasn't separated at that point
Oh,
and was
yeah,
telling you
yeah,
that.
yeah. I'll tell you about that after. Exactly, yeah, no, I know. And we literally had because we were together for like a month in Edinburgh, spent like every day together. It was like a relationship boot camp. By the time we got home, we were like, but you know the way it was like, we were like, is this a holiday romance? Do I only
Yes.
fancy you on Scottish time?
Yeah.
When we go home, are you stinking?
Yeah.
That was a real big possibility. And I remember because we'd spent the whole month together, and then when I remember going home, and he went home the day before to see his children or whatever, and then currently my stepsons, and then I went. They will continue to be so.
At
By the
time
way,
of recording.
yeah, at time of recording.
My current stepsons.
I love it when I call them that.
And I flew home the next day, and we met at the top of my street. I was still living with my few of my friends because I was literally like a year out of being a student. I was only about 23.
Yeah.
22, 23. And I met him at the top of my street outside the Ulster Bank. And I remember going, oh, I'm really nervous to see him because I might hate him. Do you know, because it could have just been a holiday romance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then how are we going to get on here? Because the whole time in Scotland, obviously, when you're at the Fringe, there's like 14 E's sharing a bedroom.
Yeah.
There's like 26 of E's in a flat. There's rats everywhere. You're living on just chips and like you're exhausted, and it's a weird time warp of a time. It's a bizarre time.
It is, as you say, it's the closest thing to like a lad's or lassie's holiday. Like
Yeah.
it's like middle class Magaluf basically.
Yeah,
for me.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's I always feel it's an extension of that. So it's the same way that you can
Yeah.
get caught up with a wee romance and fucking Iron Apple or whatever.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
get caught up at the Fringe, but as you say, when reality hits, I guess that's when
Yeah. But I even think audiences coming to. Have you ever seen the Lady Boys of Bangkok?
I have it. I mean,
No.
I've seen their advertising,
No.
of course.
Yeah, I've seen the posters.
Yeah. They love a poster.
We've got 3 on this shed. I've not
I
seen the
remember
show.
going to see the Lady Boys of Bangkok, and as I walked in, I was like, "Oh my!" And it was they were in Belfast. They were the Lady Boys of Bangkok in Belfast.
Yeah.
And the setup was like so glamorous. It was like so cool. They all had these like amazing outfits, and everyone was like so class. And as I got closer, I was sitting in the front row and just was able to like scrutinize a wee bit more. I was like, Jesus, your woman there needs better heels. Their fucking shoes are falling apart. Or are you looking like the outfits are ripped? And I was like, oh, there's a seedy undercurrent
Behind the
of
veneer.
shitty, like no one here's happy. Do you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
like, no one here's having a good time. They're out doing the dances and all, but they go backstage and they're crying. And I was like, that's what it's like at the Fringe.
Yeah.
We're all on stage being like, oh, this is like giving the audience like the best hour they'll have that afternoon. Maybe, I don't know. It depends what other shows are going to see. And then but then you leave and you're like, I've only had a sandwich today and I haven't seen my kids in 3 weeks and I'm having a romance with somebody I probably hate. Do you know what I mean? I'm drinking those 2 pint stings every day, and it's just, it's like, I think what they see and what we see is completely different.
That's very true. I was so like, it's interesting you say that about the Lady Boys of Bangkok, as if that was like your sort of the moment you realised that, because I would assume of you'd have been the sort of person that would have maybe perhaps been forced to do like Irish dancing and shit growing up. I don't know if that's is that right?
So racist, but true.
Well, even here it's like there's a lot of people that get put into that one. So would that not have like been an early example of like showing you
the seedy back that side of the whole glamorous Irish dancing?
Yes.
Well, the Irish dancing thing, my mum would not let me have an Irish dancing dress until I proved to her I was going to win some medals. So I had to do my first few competitions in a tartan school skirt and a jumper, and all the other girls were in their like full on gear with their fake tan, their makeup, their big curly wigs and all. I was there with my normal stupid hair and like a tartan skirt that like it was like a school skirt, and I wasn't very good.
right?
So
no medals, no.
So no, but I did get a dress. They did. My mum did buy me a dress then. But do we have the heavy shoes, the heels, the ones that make all the noise? I never got to that.
Right.
And I'd been at it for a few years, to the extent where everyone that I started with had moved on to the heavy shoes, and I hadn't moved on to them yet. So my mum and dad told me that the Irish school of dance that I was going to, the Irish dancing school, was closing down. Because I think they were like, this is they're moving out of the country. And they're too far away for us to drive. No, we'll not be able to go out there. And I was
it's like when your pet dies and they say it's moved to the farm.
Your feet are going to Irish dancing heaven. So I no longer did it anymore.
Yeah. And so what age were you when you gave that up?
10.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago. I think I did it from I was like 7 till I was about 10. But it's like a rite of passage, isn't it? What do you do out here? Scottish Highland dancing?
We do Scottish country dancing at school.
You get a wee bit of that in school.
At school?
Once a year, but it's not in the same way that you would need to go to,
It's
classes every week. But it's more like I remember my sister going to like loads of wee dance classes and stuff like that when she was younger, and then it kind of gets to a point where it's like, this probably isn't happening.
What does the Scottish country dancing look like? Do you use your
Hard
arms?
to describe.
Yeah, kind of. It's like you get a lot of people do it at weddings and stuff, and it's like what's it, the strip the willow
the willow, the gay gardens.
There's a kind of famous scene of
Gay gardens?
Yeah. So
and these are the names of the moves.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that? Do you know what was all my stepson just always? Do you remember the floss and all?
Yeah, we've not got the floss yet.
You haven't got the floss yet?
No, not yet.
It's kind of like a sort of 1500s version of the floss.
yeah.
It's like if
Early
Walter
viral
Scott had
dances,
invented the floss.
But you know what? Do you know everything comes back around again?
Aye.
Like, do you know the things you wore as when you were like 10
Yeah.
and now they're cool again?
Yeah, no,
Like
it's annoying, isn't it?
the stripes, the Adidas stripes, or like I've seen kids playing with Tamagotchis again, or like flares. Flares are back out. Kendrick Lamar was wearing flares at the Super Bowl.
See
He wasn't
this.
doing Scottish country dancing, though, was
He looked like he was. It's me two-step.
I'd have so much respect to be whacked out of the gay gardens at the Super Bowl halftime show.
That's all it takes is for someone to get to do it again. The world will go nuts for it.
Yeah, I mean that's how it works, especially on like TikTok and stuff these days. If someone like just popularizes this thing that's just been about, but it can just suddenly fucking take off.
And that's how the things all come back around again. Like, do you remember, like, there was, whenever I was growing up, everyone just wanted to be skinny. Whereas now everyone wants a big arse. Do you know what I
But
mean?
has that not changed recently? Now it's back to the skinny thing.
No, were they back to being skinny?
that.
Just when I got a big arse.
BBLs are out now apparently, and it's back to.
So you can't keep up.
I know.
I can't wait till they bring in big foreheads. Fuck, I'm going to clean up. Can't wait to the day there's a sexy big forehead. People are loving it. Because I remember I was doing a short film or something one time. Someone was like, a very Victorian head. And I was like, no, I can't wait till that's in. I can't wait till the Victorian.
What does that mean?
I
Yeah, I
think,
wouldn't
like,
be happy with that.
do you ever see the Downton Abbey sort of like, they've all got, like, maybe like Queen Elizabeth or something, a big forehead.
Because the hair's, it's like a scout. What do they call that? Scouse brow? Is that what they call it?
A
Is that
scouse
wrong?
brow?
You know, like with the hair's like really high.
Yes.
That's what Queen Victoria had a scouse brow. Is that even right? Is that what they call it?
A scouse brow is the big thick eyebrows.
I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering.
What they call they've got a word in Liverpool, which I think is a very good word. It's a prinny is what they call anyone who's all dolled up all the time.
Right.
They call it a scouse prinny.
No, Derry is like that.
Is it?
The woman of Derry. Not, I haven't lived in Derry since I was 18, so I've fallen very far from the tree. But Derry women do tend to get really done up all the time.
Yeah.
And like take really pride in like being really fashionable and having their hair and makeup done. And night out, do you know if you go like a night out in London, everyone's in their all the women's in their trainers, flat shoes, comfortable. Like everyone just sort of dresses cool and casual.
Yeah.
In Derry, every Saturday night is like a christening.
Yeah, totally.
You know.
I feel like the more working class the place, the more that happens. Because I think there's an element of that in Glasgow, and then like Newcastle and Liverpool are probably the big ones in England for sure for that.
Yeah.
Would you say, because did you move to Belfast from Derry then?
Yeah, when I was 18.
How does that differ in that sense and just in general?
It's from one big city to another. I say
Right.
big city, but they're both the two big cities in the north. But I remember moving and my daddy, because I'm supposed to be a Catholic, I'm not.
You're
But you know,
supposed
do you know
to.
that you're supposed to be one or the other?
Yeah, of course.
When you're none, nobody
No,
is really.
No.
And so I'm supposed to be a Catholic. My surname's Doherty or Doherty, which is like screams tagged, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For Ireland anyway. And whenever I was moving out of Derry to Belfast, my daddy was all to me, if you're ringing a taxi or anything, use a fake name. Do not say Doherty. Don't say or Doherty. Don't say that because they'll know. And I was like, right, I fucking shit myself because you think you're going to this really like sectarian area where it's going to be really violent and all. And it's like the big stories of the big city.
That's in Belfast.
About Belfast.
But would that not be the case in Derry as well, or is it a bit more
What's
chill
the thing?
there?
I moved to Belfast going, Jesus, Derry's a shithole. Belfast is so Derry's more going on in Derry than there is in Belfast. I was on to my daddy, don't have to worry about me down here. I'm more worried about you up there.
Yeah, because I would think it'd be hard in Derry, because obviously even saying Derry
Yeah.
could potentially
Just
piss
the-
people
I know,
off
I
the
know.
place, never mind anything else.
Exactly, even just saying where you're from. And it's so funny because, fun fact, nobody in Derry calls Derry Londonderry. None of the loyalists, none of the Protestants, nobody,
Really?
every both sides of the divide in Derry is not a huge divide now, obviously, but nobody calls it Londonderry. Everyone outside of Derry who would be Protestant or Unionist would refer to Derry as Londonderry. But in Derry, the Unionists and the Protestants don't. They call it Derry. And
Is
I
that
know that
right?
because I lived there.
Why is that, do you think?
Just they know the right name. I don't know. I just think it's probably just like it was obviously Derry first. I just don't think people in Derry care that much.
No.
It's only when you get outside that it gets politicised. But within Derry, nobody really cares what you call it.
That's because I'm going to Derry on tour, and I was worried, like, not worried because I'm like, well, I've got enough stuff out there that people probably know what I'm anyway.
Yeah.
But I was like, will that piss people off that I'm not? Because you see sometimes people that do Derry/Londonderry, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing that. But
No, it won't annoy anyone because
No.
nobody in Derry cares.
Yeah.
Like, they
Most people
don't.
bus in to be annoyed about it.
Yeah. But also, if you think your audience will be people who have money, then say Londonderry.
Oh, really?
They'll be the Protestants, won't they?
Yeah. No, I don't think they're going to come to me
No,
in Derry.
just say Derry. Where are you doing in Derry?
Brickworks. I
That's
think.
a lovely place.
Yeah,
That's a
great.
great club. Yeah.
Nice.
It'll be good.
I'm looking forward to it. Mainly because I've got that joke,
Yeah.
the non-Irish one,
Yeah.
and I say the Derry thing in that, and I
Yeah.
thought, so when I was looking, I was like, have I go to Belfast and Derry? 'Cause
Absolutely.
probably people from there might
And will
want
you
to come
open with
see it.
that? I imagine.
I don't know, because I guess people have seen it.
Yeah, that's
I would
weird,
certainly
isn't it?
use it to like advertise the show, but
I would just open with it anyway.
Mm,
Even
interesting.
if you think people have seen it, sure, you know yourself. You want if they're coming because they've seen that and they
Yeah.
think you're.
maybe I'll close with it.
Yeah, do it as an encore.
Yeah,
Or
they'll just
would you
leave
not
after
worry?
a bit.
You close with it and they go, "Well, we heard that before."
Maybe that could be the encore, if I
Yeah.
do an encore.
Do an encore.
By the way, I open with it and then,
Did it encore?
I don't know.
I don't know where you're leaving to. There's no backstage.
I know.
I'd be terrified to get an encore. Just thinking about that now. I'd be like, what the fuck am I going to do?
Do you know,
Aye.
the other night I done this, right? I was doing Monkey Barrel, and it was a 7 o'clock show. Audience were a wee bit quiet, right? I'm doing new stuff a wee bit as well, and so it wasn't the easiest of gigs. But I got through a bit. I look at my watch. I see 19:27. So I'm like, oh,
Alright.
fuck, I've done 20 minutes. I'll just leave it at that. Thanks so much. He's there. Walk off. There's no sign of the host. And then I look at the tech, and I'm like, as I'm walking off and I don't see the host, I'm like, I'm second guessing myself. And he's like, you've only done 15 minutes. I'm like, fuck. Ran back on stage. What I hadn't put my stopwatch on, so when I looked
was
at
the
90, it was the time. It was 27 minutes past 9. It's fucking 7.
Oh shit!
And I was like, shit. And I had to come back
That's
on
funny.
and be like, look,
I fucked it.
I know yous are disappointed, right? Imagine being me. I don't want to be here any more than yous I see. And I'd done another 5 minutes.
Oh no! Oh, that's the worst.
Still an encore, technically.
It was an encore, is what I'm saying.
I was at a
I
gig.
probably should have done the Northern Ireland, but then I might have
I
fucking
know.
saved it.
Yeah. I was at a gig before where somebody like really did under their time and came off, but their stuff was songs,
Oh.
and the booker was standing there and went, "Get back on." Like get back on the stage and keep like it was like held the MC back.
How
and so-
under are we talking?
I think like 10, 15 minutes under.
Yeah,
It was
that's
maybe
too
like
under.
it's 2 under. I think it was like a half-hour set and they'd done like 15, 20 because it wasn't really going well. And he was like, "Get back on, keep finishing."
And see if you're doing songs, you're fucking padding out anyway, let's be
The
real.
whole thing's padded.
The whole thing, I know. Just doing an album.
There you
like, I know.
fucking
Do some
riff.
covers. Do some Beatles numbers.
Yeah, you could go instrumental for a while. They won't mind.
Absolutely. No, 100%.
They won't. I know. It's rare.
So what was that move then for Derry to Belfast?
It was to go to uni. It was to
Mm-hmm.
go to uni and study drama.
Had
as-
you been acting? So see, since you gave up the dancing, then did you act before you went to drama school?
I'll say I've had to give up my career as a dancer in order to fully commit
Yes.
to my time as an actor. I mean, do you know I knew growing up I wanted to be in front of the camera? My mum knew anytime I would come and stand in front of the fireplace, she was about to witness something awful. And I think she just was like, oh, she's
I bet it wasn't these cameras you were thinking about, though.
No, absolutely. But I think I always wanted to do something. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was dabbling in like acting and presenting and modeling and all different things. I was like, I just want people to look at me. I want to do stuff. And I hadn't really figured it out. I only started stand up when I was 30.
Wow.
I know, which is quite late. But I look back when I was 30 and I'm like, I'm still a teenager. It's so bizarre. You know, you like how. So I started stand up quite late.
Yeah.
So it was always so I was acting to a degree. Like I was in plays and the Millennium Forum and stuff in Derry, but I was like in the chorus even then, not doing a great job. Like nobody would ever, like people weren't coming to see me. Do you know, I was doing like small parts, and in school I was doing small parts as well. And then I thought I'll just do a drama degree, and I knew I wanted to perform, so I went to Queen's and did a drama degree, which was absolutely shite.
Why?
Oh, just so pointless. The worst time ever. Like absolutely still paying that off for no reason. I learnt nothing.
Is it the classic, like, pretend to be a tree and all that?
First day, be a bag of sand. Be a bag of sand. And I was like, why? And it was like, be a bag of sand. And you had to be this bag of sand and act as if 1 grain of sand was escaping from the bag at a time. and it was like, then you just like getting smaller. And I swear it went on for 3.5 days. And I think it was just so the tutor could sit in his arse and do nothing. I think he was like, you're doing such a good job. It's slowly becoming less of a bag of sand. And that was it. And I was like, what am I going to need this if I get a flood movie or something? Being a bag of, what else would I need to be a bag of sand for? It was the worst. And it continued to be stuff like that.
Really? So you didn't feel you took much out of it at all?
Absolutely nothing. It wasn't an acting course, you see. It was a drama course. So then we did like business and like stage, I don't know, director, like all lots of stuff that I was never going to use, like stuff that was like all theoretical, a lot of Shakespeare stuff that Shakespeare's shite. You know what I mean? Shakespeare is shite. I think everyone's lying.
Yeah, they are. Rubbish.
Shakespeare's so bad. Wise up. Do you know what I mean? One, nobody ever talked like that. I refuse to believe anyone talked like that.
Really?
The stuff, the content. Romeo and Juliet were children.
Yeah.
Juliet was like 13. And Romeo was like 14 or maybe 15 or 16. I just think it's a pile of crap. No one talks in 10-syllable sentences.
Yeah, iambic pentameter.
Nobody talks like
Try
that.
it.
Nobody ever did.
I definitely think that it's weird when people go and see the comedies now. Because
Yeah.
there's no way people are laughing at this thing. You need to fucking translate to even know what they're talking
You
about.
laugh
I
to
know.
prove that you're smart.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
very
think
good.
that's all people do is they discuss Shakespeare so that they think it makes them look smart.
Yeah.
Well, I'd done an English degree, but I avoided Shakespeare like the plague, which I believe was going around at the time. And but I did because it was just such a pain in the arse, even having to do the reading
I know, I
most
was
of
the
the time.
same.
Then
Yeah.
you also need to fucking read the thing and then go,
Read 2 fucking books
this is
for
what
the price of one.
this is what it means.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, though, I do sort of go, I wish I knew a bit more about fucking King Lear. Basically, when I watch Succession, I go, I wish I knew what they were talking about
Yeah,
and what
yeah,
this
yeah.
this illusion was to and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But
But after those 5 minutes have passed, you're better off not having spent the time learning it. It's like
that's true.
it's just. So then I did a drama degree there, and I remembered booking my first TV job when I was in my first year at uni, and I
Wow.
was a BBC NI sketch show, and I dined out on that experience. I had a non-speaking part, and it was like a couple of
Bag of sand.
sketches. It was a bag of sand. It was like, yeah, it was in this a series of sketches that, do you know Diarmuid Core? No, it was his sketch show anyway.
Right.
And I had a very small non-speaking part. It was in a couple different sketches, and I on purpose arrived late into my drama class one day to be all like, sorry, I was off shooting the BBC's. Do you know the thing that we're all training for? I was off doing that currently, got paid and all, I wasn't even in shooting that day. I just wanted to turn up 10 minutes late to be like, sorry, I've just come from set.
Yeah.
Like 8:30 in the morning. But it was like nothing I learnt at my drama degree I think ever aided anything that I needed.
Really?
It would be different if it was an acting degree.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a drama degree, and I think I checked out dead early. But checked out in my head and didn't do my exams. I continued to be a student, so I could like still get my student loan and live in halls, because that was the fun part.
Yeah.
And they just kept sending me emails, like, "Are you coming back?" And I was like, "I'm thinking about it," so I could stay at halls, and continue being a student.
I think because the one thing I would say, I'm always jealous of people that do stand up who've had some acting background though, because I do feel like that must help you in some way.
I think it does, because you obviously go straight on stage going, I'm not scared here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm used to. However, there is, like, I sometimes worry that I'm overperforming,
Yeah.
because you can see that straight away.
I do remember when I started out, there was a few people that were like had done an acting like degree or
You
something.
can
and
tell, can't you?
They were
Can
kind
tell.
of like, it was
Yeah.
like
So
they were,
scripted.
Yeah.
they were like performing the part of a
And it's
stand-up
off-putting.
comedian.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess you kind of need to break that barrier a wee bit.
Whereas when I started stand up, I would learn my stuff like a script,
Yeah.
word for word, and I would go out and just do it like, I'm just doing a script. It's easy, you know. And then it meant that I had very little room for going, that needs work on, change that.
Yeah.
Feel what's right in the room, throw a topper in right now because you've thought of it. I wouldn't dare do that, because I was like, no, stick to the script.
Yeah.
And that would be detrimental. You know what I mean? So there's good points and there's really bad points. I think you can easily come across less authentic if you have
Yeah.
a lot of acting experience, because you just implement that on stage. And that's something I always I'm trying to work against the grain with, because my initial, like, my go-to is just to perform it.
Yeah.
Rather, and then and I think audiences prefer when they think a story's real.
Of course. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then if
totally.
you're telling them something and you're overperforming it, it's very obvious that you've written it.
I know.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I do think that it's like, I often think I should do more like rehearsal beforehand, and I think stand-ups could learn a thing or two about that as well. But
There's a middle ground,
it's
isn't
a
there?
bit, it's a balance in it.
There
kinda.
is.
It's just funny when you see someone that's obviously been an actor and then they're trying to stand up, but you're at like an open mic, there's like 8 people there,
Yeah.
and they're doing it like it's Shakespeare or something. You're
Or like
this
Yeah.
is
the
crazy.
fucking Hydro or, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the O2 or something, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's so the level does not match the fucking room.
Exactly. Yeah. They're giving it so much as if
Yeah.
they're killing it, and the audience, there's like, and they're still giving it everything.
You should look embarrassed to be here. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
rite of passage. Die on your hole and know about it, and know you're dying on your hole.
Aye. Acknowledge it and all of that.
Do you not do any, like, do you not go over anything before you go on? Like, do you not run through stuff?
I do, but I think you get a bit lazy with it sometimes, and depends how new the stuff is and all of that as well. Because sometimes you go up and I'll just be like, that bullet point, I'll just take a run and jump at this.
figure
But
it out.
I'm trying to get better at putting in the effort off stage so as that you're
funny 'cause
getting it's the more efficient,
I'm trying to get more like that.
right?
So I'm working back the other way, the opposite way. Because as you say, you need the middle ground.
Yeah.
Because I worry too much about having the words in the exact right place,
Yeah,
which I know is really important. So when you're riffing, it's really, you could do it and you go, if I just had to flip that sentence back to forth, that would have had twice the laughter just by that rhythm of it.
yeah,
And that only comes from having it written down beforehand and looking at it and going, is that working like that? But then also it's feeling the room and just like being more natural with it. So I think I this year, one of my things with stand up was like, right, try and take more leaps on stage and be less prepared.
totally.
Mhm.
Well, I've definitely went through that as well. Like, I think you go through stages, don't you? Where sometimes you're like, right, I really need to get the material tight and this and that and the other. And then you go, there was definitely a while. I remember like going, because I had really only performed just doing stand up.
Mhm.
I'd done some improv classes and I would host more, and I got better at it because when I started it as well, I was like I wouldn't know how to go off script or how to talk to the audience or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember sort of like purposely kind of going, I'm going to try and be more loose and in the moment and all that with it. And then, but then after a while, you go, I'm getting a bit too reliant on this.
I know.
The material could do with tightening up a wee bit
Yeah.
again, you know. So you
I
go
know.
back and forth.
It's like
You always go too
treading.
far one way and then have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
dial
I
it
yeah.
back.
know. It's like treading a fine line, isn't it? And then what people want in an audience changes. Like, because last year, obviously, it was like all the people wanted to see online was crowd work.
Yeah.
And now that's sort of dying down. Like, but that's all people really wanted to see crowd work.
Now, if you look at the views on mine, they're fucking certainly all right. They're sick of this shit.
But that's what I mean. Like that was like the big thing. So if you
Yeah.
weren't doing crowd work, you were like, shit, I don't have the content. And then at gigs, you could tell that people just wanted to be talked to. And whenever you went back into material, they were just like, slag us off again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Annoying.
Changes the audience's perception, I guess, of what it is. But it's it's a funny thing, isn't it? That like between what because also for the comics as well, what we get out of it is being able to have content that isn't your material that you're
That you're
burning.
not burning your stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I know.
But it's but yeah, because I remember hearing like there was certain clubs that were banning people who weren't the host from doing crowd work because everybody was just going up and try to do crowd work.
Makes it shite. You might there to see fucking be entertained.
Yeah, exactly.
I know when I first was like starting with my husband's a comedian too, and he always does loads of crowd work, but he always has because he does one-liners and he needs to like
Break it
reprieve from
up,
that. I think you need
yeah.
to break that up. So he would do lots of crowd. He MCs a lot as well. And I remember at the start, if I was like at one of his shows, and this is way before I was doing stand up, and I would literally if I felt like he was doing crowd work for too long, and he's really good at crowd work, I would be like it's in the audience like a wee bitch. I said, I'm like, people have paid.
You're like
to
a
hear the
football
jokes.
manager.
Yeah, I was all move it on. And I now thinking back, I'd have punched my face in. See if anyone was watching me, you move on to the next bit from the audience, I'd be like, you livid.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're in a unique position. Where am I supposed to give them that sort of
Yeah,
direction?
I
would
wouldn't
you?
dare now. What a cheeky bitch. Cheeky
I'd like
bitch.
to have someone at the back conducting me, I think.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. If someone's like, it's like a 5 out of 10. It's like, yeah, make
That-
this funnier.
That's going to be the next stage, isn't it? Because people get directors for Fringe and
Yeah.
all that now, and it's going to be someone in the room like, more of this. Tell me more about your grief.
Yeah,
The plaque out that says, stop doing the pedo stuff.
yeah, Bill, you've talked about your family already. I know. But then my husband's the only reason I'm doing stand up because
Right, because what was the decision to get into stand up, and was it before you met your?
No,
was
it was
after?
after we got married.
Mhm.
You know, I was a maid of honor at my best friend's wedding, and about 5 or 6 years ago, and she asked me to do a speech, and I did a speech because her family's all really boring. So I did a speech. That's awful. I'm joking. She won't be watching this. We don't speak anymore. She will be watching this because we don't speak anymore.
Yeah, that's the way people watch, you know. and like-
No, we are speaking again. We
Okay.
did fall out though. Anyway, I can't
Okay.
even say. But she.
we can cut that back.
No, fucking it's fine.
The next time
Fine.
you fall out, she'll watch it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So she asked me to do a speech, and I did a speech, and obviously I tried because that's your go-to. You like wrote it, so it was funny. And it was like a 10-minute speech, and afterwards my husband was like, but he'd always been encouraging me to do stand-up because I was only doing sketches at that point and acting, and he was like, you should get into stand-up, and I was like, no, my God, that is so scary, no thanks. And then when I did that, he was all, well, that is stand-up, you wrote 10 minutes of stuff that was original material, and people laughed, and I was like, oh my God, I think I might take over the world. And I was like, that really is it, and he's all, oh my God, I'm going to do that. So then I just reworked that speech
Yeah.
for my first bit and was like into like stories of female friendship rather than just talking on my friend about loads of stuff,
Yeah.
and just reworked that stuff, and then that was like my first bits that I did then.
Wow.
Yeah.
And see, at that point, where were you with the acting?
Where was I? I had been established by then. Like I
Right.
was doing TV shows and
So when did you do Derry Girls? Was it before you done
before
stand
we
up?
done stand up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Right.
Because it definitely helped me be able to get headline spots really quick.
Yeah.
It's great
You-
credit to have.
Yeah. Just I didn't ever have to do unpaid gigs or anything at the
Oh, really?
start. Which is mad, obviously, like, because I just was able to go. Also, like, there's not a huge amount of gigs back home. You know, and even then there was way less like this is like the year before the pandemic I started, and there was way less even then. So I sort of went straight in at a really good spot. And I suppose as well, when you go straight in, when you've lots of performance experience, it didn't feel like you were open mic straight away, you know.
Yeah.
So
You
it-
definitely get a head start
but I have
over
a
someone
cheat
who's
code.
never done any performing or anything before,
I think
you know?
so, yeah. So then it started, and then the pandemic hit, and then I had 2 kids, and it was all. I basically didn't. I sort of started it, was doing it for about 6 months, and then it was pandemic, and I had my 2 kids during that time, and then really only properly got into stand up after
Yeah.
after the pandemic. Then
Wow.
I know
What the hell?
those bastard kids will stop you.
So you've got 2
2.
kids, and you've got how many step kids?
I think 3
You think
At time of recording.
currently?
at time of recording. At time of recording, there are 3 stepsons. So our house is such a varied. So I have a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and then a 16, 18, and 21-year-old stepsons.
Wow.
So it's such a
Wow.
variety of age. And like we went on holidays there last week with the youngest of my stepsons and my 2 wee ones. It was like me and my husband and a 16-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So it's like, how do you entertain all those ages? They're all complete. We just got the 16-year-old blocked. He drank cocktail for cocktail with us one night, and the next day heavily regretted it. I was like, if someone's going to get you blocked, it's going to be the fun stepmom. Here you go. And he drank all night long with us, and then the next day he was like, I don't think I like that in my life. It was the worst decision ever.
Wow. I've never heard that word blocked. Is
Blocked?
That, is
Yeah,
that
we
Hammered,
don't
drunk?
get that here.
Aye,
What do
we
you
would-
usually say?
We'd say like
Steaming.
steaming or mad with it or whatever.
Mad with it?
Mad with it. Aye.
That sounds like someone who's a wee slut. Mad with?
Well, sometimes they go hand in hand.
Yeah. Or someone who's lost their marbles. Someone who's mad. But that's the thing. Do you not feel like if you gig all around the place that you're going, what are the words for the things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm writing my new tour show at the minute, and I'm literally every now and then writing down a word on a page of a list to like go around everyone I know from like Scotland and England and Wales and being like, does this make sense where you live?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just like talking to a wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Need a local at the back with a placard saying,
Yeah.
we say madweight here.
Yeah. Like, do you have Kirby here?
Can I be? Yeah.
Do you call it Kirby?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I would pronounce it Kirby.
Kirby.
Aye,
Yeah.
It'll be that, like
Kirby.
rather than Kerb.
Yeah, but I think that is your accent.
Aye.
You just pronounce
Cur-
things differently
cur-
to me.
But I don't know
We'd say
whether
you rather
down
than
south
E.
it might not be Kirby though.
Kirby. I know it feels like
No, because in Derry it's called Padsy,
right.
Oh right.
and then in Belfast it's called Cribby.
Why is it? Where does Padsy and Cribby come from?
Well, we call a Kerb a pad.
right.
I know we're wrong. I think. You know what I mean? We don't even say my name right. We say Doherty instead of Doherty.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do
Yeah.
think we have a history of saying things wrong.
Well,
Derry, London, Derry.
there's no right or wrong way to say things, as I'm sure William
different.
Shakespeare would
Yeah,
attest.
yeah. So we play so like that's the thing, you're like I'm writing I was writing a bit about Kirby recently, and I was like, does anyone outside of here play that? So I'm having to do, so thanks for being part of my market research.
Yeah, Kirby people will get in Glasgow for
Check
sure.
these things.
Yeah,
Edinburgh even, I don't know what they would.
but they would have it, but the
Yeah.
part of the bit is that they have different names everywhere, so that's fine, because I think everywhere does call it something different.
I couldn't tell you the last time I seen people playing Kirby.
Kirby's a dying art, isn't it?
They're not
That's-
playing Kirby, they're not doing yo-yos, they're
No.
not doing, I think Tamagotchis are back, but that's because you can sit in your arse and do that.
Yeah.
Gotta get out to play Kirby.
What is it like an app you can get for Tamagotchis now?
I'd say it's an app. I've heard the Gen Zers talking about Tamagotchis, so I know they
Interesting.
exist, but it's probably an app. They're back playing Snake. Let me tell you that.
Snake Rocks, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you? Because like, so see with the step kids then,
Mm.
like, because you must get an interest in, and obviously with your own kids, but obviously they're very young, but like, you must get an interesting insight into like Gen Z people, I would imagine.
Jesus, I.
What-
One earphone in all day long, 24 hours a day. All day long. Like my stepson, who's 16, he'll have one earphone in, and you don't see it because they've all got the curly moppy hair and all too. And you won't see it because it'll maybe be on that side. And he's maybe making something like to eat in the kitchen, and he'll just like ask you a question. And then as soon as you've answered the first word, which is obviously yeah or no or whatever it is at the beginning of your sentence, he'll just press play back on the thing he's listening to. So then you're talking to a fucking brick wall for the
Yeah.
remainder. And you maybe ask him back a question. You maybe go, can I have pizza for dinner? And you're like, yeah. Also, did you make sure to put out the bin earlier on? Because what? And then he's not listening. And then you're like, how were we talking to each other 8 seconds ago? And now it's like I'm not in the room.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's all day and scary. We said to him around Christmas time, we're like, what is your hours you've clocked up on TikTok today? Do you want to take a stab at how many hours that day he'd watched TikTok?
8.
Nope, more.
Fucking hell.
In a 24-hour period, in the last 24 hours, 14.
Oh my god.
And it's like that's not even Snapchat. And
No.
also, do you know Instagram? They're not on Instagram. They don't care about Instagram.
No.
All right.
All the work I'm doing on Instagram is worthless.
For
Well,
the oldies.
no, but it's for our generation.
I know.
I do feel though TikTok is
I
like,
don't want a bunch of fucking TikTok kids.
I think
No,
it's
exactly.
either kids though, or it's like really older people,
On TikTok?
like boomers.
Yeah, my father-in-law's on there.
The only
I hate
social
the
media
idea
my
of my
dad,
folks being on
the
TikTok.
only social media my dad has is
You
TikTok.
kidding on?
Because I think
Yeah.
what happens is they get sent so many videos on like WhatsApp that they must just eventually just go, it's easier to
That's-
just sign
yeah.
up. And they've got no profile,
Yes.
but they just watch videos on it.
Because I think
Shite all day.
Instagram feels like you're supposed to put stuff out there, whereas TikTok just feels like you just watch stuff.
Yeah.
So they probably like, oh, this is like a TV service. They probably think it's like a streaming service.
Yeah.
Where you're just watching short movies about things.
It's not good for anyone. I
Not
don't
good for
think.
anyone,
I think we're on a good place.
Because I'll forget that my father-in-law's on there, and then every now and then he'll like a video, and I'll be like, oh, I was definitely talking about my dad's and that. Did you know something that can maybe, and he's maybe not even watched it, but he's just like clicked, I'll be supportive, and they clicked like, and I'm all, eesh.
Well, my dad said to me the other night, he's like, oh, I've seen some of your videos, and I was like, all right, because I had blocked them. Otherwise, just in case I put out material about him.
Oh my,
This
my,
is stuff about how I hope you die, so I get the house.
I'd seen that to be fair.
my mother-in-law had set my father-in-law's Facebook to, when he posts stuff, it doesn't go live, like it just sits on his Facebook, and he doesn't know
For
it.
only
That's
me.
funny.
You
Only-
can
only
select
me,
it to
yeah.
me.
It's been like
He's like, I'm down on my ass here.
Yeah. 'Cause he's,
Christopher McArthur Boyd done that for ages. He was accidentally only posting to himself for like
and he's like,
months.
this joke is shit. Yeah. Because my father-in-law sends us things all the time. He goes, I've just put up a post there about Liverpool Football Club. Go on and like it. I get some likes, and you're like, but no,
Go
why?
and like
Yeah. One time, God love him, he's brilliant. But one time he posted, do it comes up in your feed on Facebook, and I don't use Facebook anymore, but it comes up in your feed like somebody you know has posted in a group that you.
Yeah.
whatever. So it had come up that my father-in-law had posted in the Christy Moore fan page. Happy birthday, Donna. Who's my mum? And I was just like, what are the series of events that led to this? So
Yeah.
that this happened.
I
It's
just-
not even my mum's birthday.
I just feel like those people on Facebook, they definitely have no idea that other people can see like even their
Yeah.
comments and stuff. But it's like they're just wandering about a dark room, like posting happy birthday in the fucking Christy Moore fan page.
know,
Like
I know, I
they
know.
just don't know where they are or what
Yeah.
who's seen in.
And like my mum first got Facebook, I remember being in her house one time, and she was like on the laptop, and then she was like, like stressed out, and I was like, what's going on? She goes, this is too much. I don't think I want to have Facebook. And I was like, just delete it. She's like, but everyone's looking at me. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, why does your friend Mari keep telling me about her hangovers and her stuff? I don't care. Like, and I'm always having to get back to her because I don't want to be rude. And she thought every status was to her.
That's
She
funny.
was commenting under
really
everybody.
sweet though,
Oh,
don't you
God,
think?
love her. Like, and it was a full-time job.
Yeah.
So
We
I
can-
need a Facebook assistant.
Cut this out if it's too dark, but there's mind that one. Someone must have put it in a group, but there's a guy that we know, an older guy, and he was on Facebook, and he did a serious post about how his partner had a stroke.
Right.
But you know, on Facebook you can have like a graphic thing, so it's like a big banner, and it's got like fucking ribbons on it and shit,
Yeah.
and then it's got he's got like an avatar that looks like a sort of yassified version
Yeah,
of him, and
kinda.
he's just smiling with two thumbs up, like,
It's my
and it's just like X has had a stroke. And I mean, fuck me. Terrible, but
It's
fucking
yeah.
hell.
What a way to find that out.
But I found out my granny died on Facebook.
No.
I was with her the day before.
Oh Jesus.
And like because that's the thing. People love posting when they find out someone has died on Facebook. Oh
Yeah.
Jesus. I know, do you know there are people who would be so gutted that they don't get to be the person to post about their own death on Facebook. They're like, I
Death
want
is
those
big
likes.
business on there, isn't it? Yeah.
What is it?
It's big business on
Oh,
Facebook.
big business. It's really that you will never have a more liked post than when someone dies. Which
Yeah.
is such a weird thing to do, is to like it. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
I
That
like
is
that that person's dead.
it's a weird thing, and as someone who has had to break news like that on social media before, it is weird that you're body's still going, oh, another like. Oh, like how you busy. Oh, they like
No,
a
you're all,
thousand there.
how many thoughts and prayers do I have
Yeah,
now?
it's fucking crazy. Yeah.
I know, it's like, it's a currency.
Yeah, Facebook is the ground zero of the heavenly birthday, innit?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the heavenly birthday. Oh,
But, so
dear.
how did you find out your grand died then?
On like literally on Facebook. So whenever she was ill, I was one of her carers. She was like up staying with her 2 days a week. I was be in my mid 20s. So I would be up there like 2 days a week, but in Derry, and then I'd go back to Belfast. This went on for about 6 months, and then one of the days that I wasn't up there, I think I was up the day before, and my cousin who lives in England, who hadn't seen her in about 2 years, found out she died that morning. My mum didn't want to tell me. She wanted to tell me in person. So she was going to come tell me that day. So she didn't want to tell me over the phone because I was on my own in the house. My husband was off doing, which we can talk about after, comedian on a cruise ship. Worst job ever. And he was off doing that at the time. So she didn't want to tell me whilst he wasn't in the country and whilst I was on my own in the house. So, but I found it on Facebook. And I was around my ma as well, is this a joke? And she was like, no. And I was like, who does this? But that's the sort of person who's just like, I can't wait to get likes. I just want to get likes. I just want to get shares. I just want people to like comment below it.
It all becomes about you. You know, that's the thing. Like, because that's what you want to avoid as well. Like when that happens, is like you kind of want to honour somebody, but then you're also like, I don't want to look as I'm fucking
making it about you.
Yeah, making it about you. But that's.
But also, do you not find, because most of the content that you put up is comedy, that if you ever put something serious up, people are like, and then what happened? Do you know what I mean? You're all, no, this is serious. All of my family have died, and they're like, where are they? You know, and you're like, no, they're all dead. Like people just expect it to always be a joke. If I ever put up anything that's serious, people are like, they get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, well, I don't like.
This isn't what we signed up for.
Yeah, because like I did a play earlier in the year. We were talking about it last year, called Sunny Side Up, and it was a one-woman show. It was a dark comedy, so it was a comedy, but there was really sad moments in it. It's driven from my experience of doing IVF to have my kids, but it's not my story. It's a story I dramatized and wrote.
Yeah.
And so there's really sad bits in it about child loss and stuff. And so a lot of my comedian friends came to watch it, and afterwards they were all, I didn't like that when you were crying and all. It was weird, and you were making us sad, and because they're just like, you're not supposed to just be making us laugh. It's fucking weird.
Well, it's like
you can't do both.
Oh, exactly. Well, it's like a lot of Fringe shows as well. I suppose it gets to 40 minutes in, and
There's
the
a wee sad bit.
Yeah.
Working on that at the minute.
That's, it's got to be done something.
Keep checking Facebook for the latest death. See what I can do with that. Give me something to work with.
Yeah. When I was acting more, I used to save sad videos on my phone, like links to them. This one will make me cry if I need to cry someday on set.
I think it'd have been worse if you'd found out your grand died on the Christy Moore fan page.
R.I.P. Granny. Oh yeah. Are you two the Fringe this year? Yeah.
Probably. Not 100% confirmed. Are you?
Yeah, I am.
How are you feeling about it?
All right. My children aren't coming, which is going to be shit.
Right.
Or brilliant. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's just obviously I'm going on my own.
So your man needs to stay back home with the kids?
Yeah.
You'll be in Fringe for a month?
It just wouldn't be feasible to have us all there. It'd be mad. And like he would have to just have them all day, and it would just be like not fair because he wouldn't have people around to do things with and whatever, so it just wouldn't work out. And then he was going to do a show simultaneously, and it's like us both at the Fringe doing a show whilst our kids are there would be crazy.
Yeah.
You've got enough kids in that to start a new sketch troupe.
Yeah.
Go full
I
circle.
know.
The return of Friday night.
Still have less people in the audience than in our sketch group. That happened us so many times, that sketch group, and in the Fringe, like there was way less. In fact, maybe every night there was less people because there was 12 of us.
Yeah.
Definitely less people in the audience every single night. And one of the nights there was just 2 Chinese men in a suit, not a word of English. And I think they were hiding from something. I don't actually think they came to see our show. I think they were just hiding for an hour. And we did the show as each other's parts. Do you know, like you get the stage where we'll do this inside out?
Yeah.
And we're like, let's do one for us. So we all just like before a sketch was started, like you, and we all just like did each other's parts as imitations of each other. And those Chinese guys had the best night of their lives. It was a great show.
You mentioned you're doing IVF for your kids and stuff like that. You mentioned an interesting thing in the car on the way here, because I was talking about like how I was advised recently that basically you can drink on antibiotics as long as you don't spew them up. Or, well, what I was told was that it's often told because people get antibiotics for STDs and the doctors tell them to not drink on them because if they drink, they might be more likely to then have sex.
You might get mad with it.
Yeah, you might get horny.
Yeah,
Mad with it.
get chlamydia again or whatever. But you told us then a thing about
Breastfeeding.
drinking and breastfeeding.
Little life hack.
We life hack. I know. Now, confirm this with your doctor before.
Yes,
taking
this is
my-
not medical advice.
No.
This is our Stephen Bartlett moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're only qualified to give advice on men's mental health.
not women's physical health.
No.
So I learnt that breastfeeding. So obviously they'd be like, don't drink and breastfeed because you think your baby's going to get drunk and your baby will be. That's not the case. Apparently, it's like a shot in a swimming pool is the amount of alcohol that will get into their system, which is like it's the same as spraying perfume on them. I assume. I don't know.
A drop in the ocean.
A drop in the ocean. And
Fish in the pool. Not worth
Fish
worrying
in the
about.
pool. That is exactly it. And so that you can drink whilst you're breastfeeding. But the worry is that you will drop your baby because you'll be too drunk.
Yeah.
But I don't think that a parent will ever get that drunk where they'll drop their baby. Like, babies aren't that heavy. Do you know what I mean? Like
Depends how many pints they've got in their other hand.
Yeah.
Still got a 2-pound stein.
And how big their baby is. Yeah. So, so I breastfed both of mine for ages as well, and I drank the whole way through it.
Well, because surely
Took
if you've
breaks.
been pregnant, you've had enough time where you've fucking know how to drink. So
I know.
surely you should be alright to do it.
The amount of women's lives I've changed by going, because people do this thing, they pump and dump, and they're like, well, they pump breast milk when they're drinking, they dump it. Because they're like, oh, it's got booze in it. And I'm like, that is madness. That your baby will love that tomorrow. No. I do know someone who pumped while she was drinking, or after she was drinking, and was going to dump it, as always, don't. But it did reek of vodka. Like, you could smell it through. And she had drank way too much. And I was like, well, I think there maybe is a limit. Do you know what I mean?
I wonder how much breast milk would you need to drink, right, to then be over the limit to drive?
Well, if you were a baby, you shouldn't be driving.
No, but say if you're pumping and
There's
dumping
quite
your...
a way to get out of
your
a drink
breast-
driving offence.
Yeah, it's like, what have you had? What have you had? No, just a couple of pints of milk, mate.
Drinking my wife's test flask.
It's her that's been drinking, not me.
Breast milk's lovely. Breast milk tastes like oat milk.
Does it?
It's sweet, tastes like oat milk. And do you know, I'm about to educate you now on breast milk. I love talking about breast milk. It's very interesting. Do you know why they're used breastfed?
I'm assuming
I
so.
assume, I guess
It's never
it
come
was.
up in convo.
Yeah.
It's weird the way it doesn't, though, isn't it? I will tell my kids
I could
all the
text my
time
mum.
when they're older. I'll show them photographs. But whenever breast milk in the winter is really thick and in the summer is really thin.
Uh-huh.
So in the summer it's got a way higher water content, and in the winter it's got a way higher fat content because it's catered to what your baby needs.
Right.
And the baby's tongue, through the saliva in their tongue, sends signals to the woman's body of what nutrients it needs for its next feed. So it's completely catered to every single. If you pump and put them on the fridge, they're all different colours, different consistencies throughout the day, and it gives your baby what it needs. So like the feed you give them in the evening time has more melatonin in it to help them sleep,
Yeah.
and the feed you give them in the morning is usually thicker to give them like a big breakfast feed.
Incredible,
It's
isn't
like it's like on it. They like order their food through their tongue. It's like just teat.
It's like Huel. It's perfectly balanced. The nutritious choice.
Now that's a Stephen Bartlett moment.
That's the exact same thing. Yeah.
Isn't it mad how like diverse the human body can be and how much functions there is like that? It's
And then
crazy.
there's stuff we don't need anymore. What's that thing you don't need? Appendix.
Appendix.
I was about to say
Yeah.
asparagus. Like, it's mad that there's shit that we don't need because we've evolved so much that you're like, we don't need that organ anymore.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll ever evolve to the point where we don't need breast milk because we've got fucking Yakult or whatever. the fuck.
Yeah.
I used to work in Asda, and this woman came in. I think she might have been Chinese or something. She's Asian. She came in and asked me, and I'm like 17 at the time, and she asked me if Yakult was okay to give to her baby.
Her wee baby.
And and I'm like, I don't know, and I'm not qualified to answer this question.
Yakult, like a yogurt.
No,
Why
the
the
like
fuck
it's
would
like
you ask a
Actimel
teenage
pods.
boy?
Well, I used to get it all the time because I used to get old women come in and ask me how to cook stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, my mom still makes all my fucking meals.
If you find out, can you teach me?
You know,
Surely
I'm still getting bloody breastfed for fuck's sake.
Like, woman, if you're not cooking, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You should know how to cook.
I just don't know. Yeah, because they thought because I was stacking the stuff on the shelves, I knew how to make the fucking lasagna or whatever.
Well, even with breast milk too, there's just sneaky. You could be a big old terrorist because they don't mind how much of it you bring on a flight. Like,
Oh yeah.
You could have bags and bags of it.
Well,
Do
they're
you know if
100
you
mils.
You can have way over 100 mil because I've flown before.
I thought you meant in the tits there. I thought you.
Oh
I thought you
yeah,
were
they're
joking.
like, let me see how much you've got in there. No, like
The Belfast boob bomber.
yeah, the duo bomber.
That is
it.
such a stereotypical Northern Irish way to think about stuff. If you're
It's
a
a
terrorist, you can take on as much as you like.
Yeah, bomb. But that's funny. Like you can bring as much as you want because I've flown before and pumped when I was away and kept it in an icebox and brought it back home again the next day. So I could dump it and if you can keep it refrigerated and you bring back bags and bags and like it doesn't
Right,
really
so
mind.
the rules are different though.
And they're not gonna be like, yeah, go ahead. They don't even check. They're just like, there you go.
How do they know it's your breast milk? Like, how do they know that?
Just
though?
take your word.
They take your
That's
word
what I
for
mean.
it.
You can do all sorts of terrorism. You can be doing whatever you want.
We probably shouldn't put this out.
Yeah, this sounds dangerous. This.
Yeah, there has been a spike in female terrorist support Aer Lingus. No, seriously. But it's not, they're changing that 100 mil thing.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
going. Is
That's
it not?
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank
In
God.
Belfast airports now, you don't even have to take your stuff out of the bags anymore.
It's annoying though because it's inconsistent because some airports have it and some don't. So
I know.
you'll go to Bristol and you're not allowed to fucking have your moisturiser, but then when you go to Birmingham, it's
Yeah.
fine or whatever.
Because even when I was flying over here today, I don't have to take any electricals or you don't have to put your liquids in a bag anymore. It's just you just put your big backpack on the scanner and it goes through. You don't have to do a wee plastic bag.
Yeah.
Whereas going back through Glasgow Airport tomorrow, I'll have to have the plastic bag with the bits in it.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
So annoying.
Do you know what I don't like? Why didn't I take my laptop out of the fucking
I
laptop
know.
bag?
I
It's
know.
nerd shit, isn't it?
You must be able to see the same stuff. And that's inconsistent. Some people do that, some people don't. I don't like it.
But I love the idea of our kids someday in years to come learning do you know, like learning about it because that's all going away. Do you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, why are we only allowed 100 mils?
Yeah, what do you mean you
Yeah.
need to
I know.
squeeze just some lotion into
Yeah.
a little?
If we got to 101 mils of shampoo, we'd make a bomb. That's why. Do you know, you're like hardly, you know.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
if you too much stuff in your bag, you weren't allowed on board. But if you put it in your pockets, you could get on board.
Well, do you know it's a weird thing that's a hangover from like post 9/11 stuff as well that I recognised the other day. I get some stuff through the post and one was like a handwritten thing and it was just something I'd ordered online but I couldn't remember. And still part of me every time I open something is worried there's going to be anthrax in it. Do you remember that?
Actually,
Do
I
you
don't
remember
know.
that after
Yeah.
9/11?
was that not the Russian thing?
No, it was big. Anthrax was like at the same just after 9/11. It was also like anthrax was meant to be getting sent to loads of people's houses, and it was like everyone was scared that they were going to get anthrax.
How
in the post.
narcissistic to think that they would target you.
Well, because
I
at
am
the time,
important enough to be
Yeah, they're
murdered.
coming after the podcast as well.
well, I've said this even before, but because I was like, so 9/11 to so I'd just turned 11, I guess, and basically, no, 2001, aye. So that night I went to football training. Down in Clydebank, and there's like the high flats, and you don't know any better as a kid. You don't know.
They look like the World Trade Center.
They look.
Yeah.
I was like waiting because you've just seen two fucking planes.
I used
right
to
at
think that
us.
as well when I saw
I
two.
remember thinking
Yeah.
like waiting. Oh my god, is World War III going to happen? Am I just going to see two planes drive into these fucking high flats in
Yeah, 'cause
Clydebank?
you're like, of course they're gonna come. Next stop, first stop in New York. Of course they're gonna come here.
yeah, that's
Like
what I
that's where
thought.
it's at. I know.
So
There's like high intelligence going on in those flats that need taken down.
to be fair, was bombed by the Nazis, so there is previous.
Yeah.
Was it?
Used to be a big shipyards, and they bought Clydebank Blitz. My grand's house got bombed, actually, or a street got bombed.
By the Nazis.
You found out about it on
Adolf Hitler.
Facebook.
Yes, yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
man.
Granny
Yeah.
bombed by the Nazis.
Yeah.
So when was this?
In
Is
the
this
Second
a
World War.
thing everyone knows about?
In the Second World
Yeah.
War.
And
Oh, during the Second World War, they
Yeah.
did it when they.
it wasn't a cheeky aftertalk in the
It's
80s.
like some guy still
I
bombing.
think it'd have been in the early 40s, I guess it would have happened.
So what were they trying to get rid of?
So they had big shit, so they built shipyard. There was shipyards in Clydebank.
Aye.
So, and I think there was actually a weapons place down at Damure where the Beardmore Hotel is now. So they were just bombing that because they were like bombing places that were fucking, sending the fucking
Producing
ships and
war
the
goods.
weapons to kill them. So
My God.
yeah, and so my grand's mum lost an eye because they were all going to the air raid shelters, and my grand's mum had forgot a coat, so she went back in the house to get a coat. And when she was in the house, that's when the blast happened. The blast for the window thingy, and all the glass went in her eye. So all my grand's old pictures of her mum is like she's got fucking cotton bud in her eye because that's like how.
That's how
That
they
was the
do
best
it.
they had
that,
then,
that was
yeah.
the best they had. Then that was
They
just
just
fun.
kept plugging it every day with cotton bud. It'll grow back. It'll grow back.
Yeah.
See, this is why
Unfortunately, and the weird part about it was that they didn't know what happened to her initially, so they thought she might have died, obviously, in the blast. And my my grand's dad had to walk from Clydebank up to like Partick, like basically near the centre of Glasgow, which is like would have taken you hours
Fucking
to walk
miles.
it, right? Just because there was there'd been a list posted of all the people who had been admitted to the hospital, and he got up there because at that time there was no Christy Miller fan page.
It's a shame as well. He would have loved his stuff.
Yeah, they were right up his street. You know, he was Catholic and Irish and all that as well. So.
This is why I'm glad we had the pandemic, because I think do you know whenever, like, until then we had none to talk about. We had no trauma. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I got
I
back.
don't know. Maybe people in Northern Ireland probably did
But
have
not my
some.
generation. We're post troubles. We're all post like Good Friday Agreement kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas everyone, our parents and grandparents all had the troubles before. At that, our grandparents had the war and all.
Yeah,
You know, whereas we didn't have anything. Whereas now we can bang on about the pandemic to our kids.
something to moan about.
Yeah,
Something to
like
live
we
through.
had to do TikTok and
Yeah.
all to earn money.
Well, we did have the 100 milliliter fucking limit on the.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I
But-
can't wait for kids to be learning about that in school. I think they'll be like, this is the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, it's gonna be boring. The pandemic's gonna be a boring thing you have to learn
Yeah.
about in school.
Even going through security and all feels so fucking stupid. Like, you should be, you should walk in and the door scans you and then you just go straight on your flight. Do you know what I mean? Like, the whole process is so unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get there at some point. Artificial intelligence and all that.
Yeah, well, presumably if they're moving away from that 100 milliliter rule, it's because they've got better technology, you'd think, rather than getting more lax.
They just go,
Sure,
nah, who
but-
cares
fuck
anymore?
it.
It's been ages.
Yeah. They'll
Fool
never
me
do it
twice,
again.
Osama.
Yeah, fool me once. But
And-
the scanners in the Belfast airports now are like hospital scanners. That's why. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hospitals just need to stop being selfish and donate their scanners.
Or
All the airports.
Or the airport should be a bit more helpful and scan you for fucking diseases while they're doing it.
I mean, imagine you got your checkup every time you
know.
flew through an airport.
And I think the rule should be, though, that they let you have your holiday first and then tell you when you come back.
Aye.
Amazing.
How was Malaga? By the way, you get cancelled.
Yeah, I hope it was good because you won't be back.
Yeah. And on your way out, they're all here. Enjoy yourself, because it'll be your last holiday.
Yeah. Remember
My
season
husband
one?
always says that he will die in the car on the way home from a really shit gig. Do you know what I mean? It'll be the worst gig of his life, and that's when he'll die.
Listening back to his set.
Well, I used to,
Yeah.
I used to think of that a lot actually when I'd go on lads' holidays. I was always like, because I was quite scared of flying, I think, when I was younger. And I think because I hadn't, for ages, I hadn't been abroad, and I started going abroad again. And so I was always like, at least just let the plane there land safely so we can get the holiday. And then if we die and be back, fuck it.
Roll
Yeah.
the dice on the way
But,
back.
that'd be a gutter if you didn't even get your 2 weeks in
But
Bali or
also,
whatever.
don't we all assume that we're gonna die in like a proper way? You know, like through an illness or something, which is ideal, the way to go.
Probably
you
just
know.
get announced on Facebook.
I know. But like, do you know, you don't want, like, my uncle died falling down, like, just tripped on 2 stairs. Do you reckon you're like, I don't want to die of something really stupid?
Yeah.
Do you know when you're like, that was so unnecessary? Do you know when you're like, I don't want to die because, I don't know, I poked myself in the eye by accident and then it got septic and then my brain fell out or something like that there?
Yeah,
Do you know,
yeah,
you'd
totally.
rather something a wee bit more long term, something that dragged out and everyone got to say their goodbyes and all.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'd quite like to go suddenly.
But suddenly, but pathetically, where people laughed about it after. Actually, that would be good. If your death was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have a funny
Leave him
death.
on
He
it.
died
Involved.
as he lived.
Yeah. Just
No one
barely
will
hanging
see.
on by a thread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Over a bridge.
I think that probably covers.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of bases
We've
there,
covered a
I'd
lot
say.
of bases. It's been
We'll
great
go
fun.
out on death.
You are on tour.
Yes. I've got 2 Scottish dates. My show's called Get Your Pink Back.
Get your what back?
Get Your Pink Back.
Okay.
I'm in Glasgow on the 28th in the Stand, I think, and then Edinburgh, Monkey Bar on the 27th. The
Brilliant.
concept of the show is off a fact that I was going to say read, but obviously no one reads his TikTok, on flamingos. And so what happens is when flamingos, who are famously pink, become parents, the mums and the dads, they drain to a pale white colour. If you ever see a flamingo that's white, it's because they've just had kids and they're currently raising their chicks. So they drain because all their energy and the nutrients goes into their kids. But as their little chicks get a bit bigger, their colour pink starts to come back as they get
Wow.
their energy back again. So the concept of this show is me now that I've had my kids and I'm done procreating, that I'm like, who the fuck am I after having kids? What do I enjoy in life? How can I become me again? Because you do just lose yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the content of the show. Concept of the show is me trying to get my pink back.
It's brilliant.
That sounds great.
Yeah, definitely go see it.
40
Check it
minutes
out.
on, there will be a week. We'll try and cry. Just
Try and
collectively.
change colour. Like,
Yeah.
tense up
I'm
so you
gonna
go
hold
pink.
my breath so I go red. Yeah.
Well, definitely check that out and check out Diona
Yeah.
online as well. Get loads of great stuff up there. And aside for that, just obviously, I guess myself and Stuart have got some stand-up shows on sale. Stuart's doing March, I'm doing May and June. Sign up to Patreon, and obviously as ever, you can like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review and our podcast on Spotify. You can follow us at Some Laugh Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and X. Do everything up.
formerly known as Twitter.
Yes. And send any questions you've got to the email address, which is somelaughpod@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you. Cheers, Diona. That was brilliant.